abundant. There's a lot of diamonds. I mean, most diamonds that you buy are in fact just man-made diamonds, and it's honestly not that expensive to make. But because companies can, and they've made people believe that they are worth this much, they do. They are like, look, your wife's gonna love this so much. Well, future wife's gonna love this so much. It's like a beautiful. No, it's so expensive. I mean, the thought there is very beautiful, and yes, spend a lot of money. It's very appreciative. I'm not trying to knock the people who do it, but in my opinion, it's just kind of ridiculous that it has to cost that much. Anyway, Shiny Rocks I found is a going back in time story. We follow Sella Lotman. She sells a lot of things. She grew up in the world she ended up being very, very successful. But in order to be super successful, she took down whoever she needed to get there. Very classic Slytherin style. She let her ambition just, take the forefront of everything. And because of trauma and lots of other things in her backstory, she, in fact, that is how she did it. But then she is murdered and transported back in time into when she was 8. Back in 1989? Something like that. I have it written down somewhere. This one does have some finished comic pieces. I just never published them. Maybe I will. But basically, she's transported back in time, where she sees her father, who unfortunately died when she was 12, 13. But her parents also were getting a divorce that year, and it was the day it happened she got transported back. And in the original timeline, she ends up going to a boarding school because the mom marries a rich guy pretty soon, like immediately after. Marries this rich guy and is like, you should go to this boarding school, it'll be great. It's not great. She's also feels very neglected, that her father didn't try to keep her or hang with her at all. Her mom also kind of abandoned her. So she's got a lot of resentment. She also has a little brother. Same thing happened to, but she neglected him. She's just kind of taking it out. So he grows up and he's just kind of becomes a lawyer, but he unfortunately turns to alcoholism. So a lot of dark things that happen in the first timeline. The second timeline, she sees Liam and is like, oh, he's fine right now. Okay. She takes some reflection, and also before she's transported back in time, she has this conversation with the system that does it for her, that transports her back in time. And the system's like, can you fix what you did and learn what you did wrong? Because she also is just like, kind of like, I did my thing. And she goes back and starting to notice all these little things. And so she goes, and Liam gives her a rock, and she's like, I remember I used to collect these things and wanted to make jewelry, but then I didn't. And I think she started at an investment firm out of school or whatever. She was kind of a bully too. And so she does that in the original timeline. And in the new timeline, she's like, okay, I can save my dad, because he originally was going to die of cancer that, if caught earlier, could have been reversed, but it was caught too late. So she's like, okay, somehow I'm going to have to convince him of this. But he's also running a little coffee shop business, and so she's like, can make money out of that and help support him, and also could help pay medical bills, because when she was younger, he's kind of on the poorer side, and then mom's not gonna help out at all. So she's like, okay, we can build set this up, it'll work. But at first she's like, what if I sold my jewelry at school? Because she made like a little jewelry thing, and someone commented on it. She's like, would you buy one? Maybe. So she starts like selling these things for like $1, or like less than that actually back then. I haven't done the calculations. Started selling them and starts making money in order to help invest it into her father's business, and then also her own. Something that she always wanted to do, but her mom always shut down. And obviously the boarding school she went to was all like, no, business. So she learned a lot of business, but now she's like, okay, that is something I know I can do. So I have the equipment for it, because I got these little tools that her dad graciously made for her. And so she starts doing that. Liam really wants to help, so she lets him help make jewelry, and they start making it, selling it, and then in the future they start setting up booths and things. And then she even has, she starts making friends and begins to realize that the best way to become successful is by helping other people instead of putting them down. So that's the whole character arc of the story. Flash forward. So she does all of this. She builds up her business. She has a brand. There's like a lot of other things that happen, but I don't have a lot of time here. So she builds up her brand, and then unfortunate things start happening. And in order to save her skin, she's trying to find something that will help. Now, Zane, enter male lead, meets her and is like, I need to get my family off my back, and I kind of hate them. I need someone that they really despise to get engaged to. And he's, of course, going to be fake engagement trope. I did this in the other story, kind of. So, his family kind of hates her. Because of money reasons, and she's I haven't totally figured out why, but anyway, they don't like her. Also, she didn't come from wealth, she had to make wealth, so there's also that. He became rich, and there's that standard trope right there. So they meet, and they decide to do the fake marriage contract. And then a bunch of hijinks later. Obviously, you know how that trope ends. But that's kind of the story. There's a lot more I could go into depth on if I remembered more of it. Like, obviously, she ends up saving her dad, which changes a lot. Liam still becomes a lawyer, but he becomes the official, liaison lawyer for Shiny Rocks I Found, which is the business that's the business name. They're just these shiny rocks that she found, and she polished them and sold them, for a reasonable price for a consumer market. And it branches into a fashion thing, and then there's Delilah, who in a previous life she bullied, and in a previous life she was someone that was working to she wanted to become a model, and so instead she helps her become a model, and then Delilah actually decides to become a model for Shiny Rocks I Found. Originally, that it wasn't Stella's idea, because she bullied her and she started feeling remorse for her actions. Love good character development. And then also there's the whole thing with her killer and finding out who did that. She doesn't actually know who killed her. I do know, but I'm going to keep that for another time. That is the setup for Shiny Rocks I Found. I actually quite love. I've done some really cool artworks for that one. I'll probably post them on my Instagram at some point when I finally update that. If you want to follow me on my Instagram, I think it's Erin Eve Art, if I'm correct. I'm I'm starting from the beginning and posting everything, so it's still just old stuff. And I haven't posted in a while, been busy, so hopefully I'll start getting more updated stuff on there. So I do have some decent artworks, especially for this one. I ended up doing in some different styles for the artwork, so yeah, maybe I'll release the webtoon one day. I have probably I think I have 5 actually like polished and done, and then I think I have storyboarded up to like 15, and I know I have even more scripted, but yeah, that is the story of Shiny Rocks. That's what I got. Hope you enjoyed. I'll tell more on this one later, but see you in the next one. Bye.